Speaking of a letdown, is the situation, Jared, that MJF is in.
I was just about to segue into that. So
I beat you to it.
MJF.
I've been dying to talk about this.
Yes, MJF. Man, everyone's kind of in between a rock and a hard place. For those of you who do not know, MJF has been there's been backstage reports that MJF is not happy with his current contract status. And I've also read recent reports that he could possibly be making allegedly between $40,000 and $70,000. I've also heard reports that he's making between he's at like a 1 million five-year deal. Obviously not a lot for someone who's main eventing and drawing money for AEW. But MJF skipped out on a meet and greet. He stopped answering his phone, turned it off. There's been reports that before the show Double Nothing, he had a flight booked out of Las Vegas. He showed up late, so he's just really not happy with his standing in the company. So and then he got squashed by Wardlow, which I mean that's part of the storyline. I don't think people were saying that's a burial, but I mean how else could you really end that feud with a giant person and this little chicken shit heel? But the MJF situation is very interesting, and there's kind of mixed perspectives and mixed point of views here. Some say that, hey, MJF should just honor his contract and work for that type of money. Some people, what I believe is that Tony Khan really, when he started booking this kid and seeing that he was really getting over and seeing his body of work, he probably should have offered him an extension of more money much, much sooner. I know that, people want to set a precedence for that type of renegotiating contracts or things like that. But I mean, MJF at this point, to me, AEW needs MJF more than MJF needs AEW. And the fact that they don't have those too many talents like that, and those type of talents are hard to come by, I think I would have done anything in my power to keep MJF. And at the end of the day, hey, sometimes business in life isn't fair. If you have exceptional talent, then sometimes you kind of get what you want. So I think this is a situation where, unfortunately, I feel like Tony Khan should have bent the rules a little bit and proceeded to kind of give MJ what he wants. But what do you think about this whole situation?
We talked about the Sasha and Naomi situation over on the other side of the fence.
Yeah,
we ran down that. Obviously, I felt that they were acting really unprofessional. They need to honor the contract. They're in a better
and the main difference with this one is MJF still showed up.
Yes, MJF still showed up. He still did the job to Wardlow. He still put Wardlow over in a very, very strong fashion. He still showed up. But if you look at Naomi and Sasha and you try to compare the two, how much money do you think Sasha and Naomi are making over on the other side of the fence?
Tons.
More than $70K a year?
Way more. More than $1 million a year. I'm sure.
Exactly. And MJF is their top heel.
Here's the other thing. How many main events has MJF had? How many how many title reigns has MJF had?
He's won a ring.
Yeah, he's exactly.
He's won a ring, and he's had to use that ring, or he's used that ring to win several of his key matches, unfortunately. Did he need the ring? No, but that's just what a good heel does. They find ways to win without actually, properly winning. Nonetheless, he's making 40 to 70K reportedly a year. After expenses, that narrows down to what? Less than we're making a year?
Travel, ring gear. He has like the he's got the expensive ring gear and stuff. That's all that stuff costs. Rental cars, everything. Food, bills. Gym memberships, that all adds up. The independent contractors.
Exactly. And he's making less than us after expenses. And he's on national television. He's main eventing. He's competing with their so-called main event guys.
Yeah, you got to pay that, man.
He's not getting treated like one in terms of the financial situation.
Yeah, you got to pay that, man.
Tony Khan, as a businessman, is not a very bright businessman, in my opinion. He's more of a fad kind of guy. He's more of a cheap pop kind of guy, a hot shot kind of guy, because he still has that inexperience where Vince McMahon can handle his stuff. He's not going to let you down in terms of, your financial situation. They pay well over there. MJF is AEW's top guy in terms of being a heel. The only other guy
he's segment by segment. He's the highest draw, segment by segment ratings.
He's the highest draw, segment by segment. Exactly. You bend the rules, like you said. You make an exception. You keep it quiet because you don't want everybody on your roster acting like that. You don't want them to pull a Hall and Nash where they want favored nations, where, you know, like, hey, if this guy comes in and gets paid more than me, my pay raise goes up. But the situation you have, in the situation that he was in, and Tony Khan has the money, he can fork out a lot more to MJF, keep him happy, keep him relevant, and, you know, not have him doing these things where he's going on interviews and playing the game of, you know what, I love WWE. I want to go there. I want to be a mega star because I can be over there. Where he's stuck in that niche audience with AEW. So, you know,
and also it's like, it's not like we have what's his name? Brian Pillman Jr. Brian Pillman Jr. can't do this. He doesn't have the leverage to do this. This is someone it's MJF. He is outside of CM Punk, he's probably the best overall act in that company. So not everyone has the ability to say, hey, I want more money, or to even deserve more money. So I feel like they really should kind of bend the rules for him and say, like, hey, yeah, we kind of have to do this.
We got to protect our investment.
They can't afford to lose MJF. AEW cannot afford to lose MJF.
If they lose MJF, they go downhill even further than they already are, and they do not climb out of that hole that they just put themselves in. If that's the situation moving forward, because his contract's up on January 1st, I believe, 2023 or 24.
24, I believe.
24. Okay, so they still have a bit of time to resolve this issue on hand. Again, best for business would be to re-sign the guy, give him what he wants, give in a little bit, bend the rules, like you said. You know, prepare for your future. Not only as, you know, the talent that you want to have representing your brand, but your brand as a whole. And MJF is a cornerstone, whether people call him that or not. He definitely is. So you got to protect that investment. You have to protect your talent. You don't want to see him going to the other side. And like you said it, Jared, you said it best. MJF does not need AEW. AEW needs MJF.
I would agree with that. And speaking of Maxwell Jacob Friedman, actually what we'll do is we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with you in a moment.